Hello and welcome to a new GreenStuffWorld video. Part 1. Constructing. Today, we're going to create a post-apocalyptic diorama based on a city subway. We will start from scratch. To do this, we're going to start by marking on the foam the areas that we are going to cut out later on. With matte finish medium decoupage, we will proceed to cover the parts that we will glue together to form elements of the composition such as fixed stairs or escalators. Some of the more robust parts will be glued with hot silicone. With our organic glass sheets, we are going to make the glasses of the scene, starting with the sides of the escalators. First, we mark the shape with a permanent marker and then we cut it with thick scissors. We will add our 2.5mm plain ABS plastic art profile, gluing them with cyanoacrylic gel. This way, the stairs will have a more realistic finish. We will cut some custom-sized pieces to place as a finishing touch at the end of the escalator. We continue making each part of the diorama with the foam to create the upper platform, the walls, its bevels, etc. It is important that everything we are going to cut is measured beforehand so as not to waste material and for the pieces to fit together later on. We will be using medium decoupage as an adhesive for the foam pieces as it sets very strongly on porous surfaces like this one. This material is great to work with as it is very easy to cut, handle, glue, and even sculpt. In addition, it is super light. Part 2. Broken City. Now, we are going to cut the pieces to create the upper beam, which will be completely shattered. First, we will cut the main piece and then the plates that simulate the tiles. With a cutter, we will cut sections to recreate cracks and wear. Then, we'll glue the thin plates onto the thick base and use the cutter again to break them into fragments. We're going to use our 3mm rod ABS plastic art profile and dig some small holes to fit them in. We'll also add some metal rods to simulate the wiring that used to carry electricity inside the beam before the apocalypse. Our wide variety of silicone molds will allow you to create your own pieces to add all the details you can imagine to your dioramas. We will add 3 tablespoons of acrylic resin in a plastic cup and add water in a ratio of 3:1. With this, we will get a finish similar to an ultra-resistant ceramic. It is perfect to use with molds and to create pieces in detail. The acrylic resin has a drying time of 30 minutes, reaching its maximum hardness after 24 hours. With more plastic art profiles and clear organic glass sheets, we're going to continue making railings in the same way as we did the side of the escalators. The optical clarity of this material is ideal for simulating miniature glass and window effects. Our plastic art profiles are very easy to work with, but still strong. The cyanoacrylate glue is ideal for them, as it dries very fast, forming a strong and precise bond. With a marker, we're going to mark the areas of the terrain that we are going to modify. The idea is to make them look irregular, as if a real catastrophe had occurred. We will dig them with a cutter. We can also use a heat cutter to achieve a more precise and deeper effect, giving the terrain an even more worn and realistic look. Be sure to work carefully so as not to damage the surrounding areas and achieve a natural finish. With a cutter, we will mark the separations between tiles, and with more irregular pieces of foam, we will simulate pieces of rubble. Our PVA glue is the ideal glue for working on porous materials such as foam. Moreover, it is totally translucent when it dries, after about 6 hours. This time, we will add thick basing cork grid to represent smaller pieces of rubble. There is nothing better than our plastic art H profiles in beam columns to simulate beams. We cut them easily with pliers to achieve the desired size. Part 3. Vandalism. In case you didn't know, our PVA glue can be thinned with water to achieve the desired viscosity. To add even more debris, we will add the final touches of material, this time really fine with our thin hobby sand. We can spread it first and then apply the glue. This facilitates the application of the sand and improves the final result by avoiding disturbing the natural arrangement of the sand. With our metal swivel head hobby knife, we will create very detailed rips and tears in the walls of the scene. GreenStuffWorld scratch brush pens are used to create different effects of wear and scratches. If we want to simulate a soft wear, it is enough to exert a little pressure. Remember that foam is very delicate. And once broken, there is no turning back. It is always better to go slowly, making controlled movements. Our self-adhesive masking tape is very useful to protect specific areas in cases like this, when we want to apply a paint or texture comfortably without accidentally coloring the protected areas. This texturizing paste is thick and has a dense consistency. We protect the crystals, and with our airbrush, we will apply a coat of matte surface black primer on the walls, floors, debris, and stairs, thus covering the entire diorama except, of course, the crystals. We will use the tone Parchment diluted with our acrylic thinner, as this will give us a smoother finish and a better application. With different shades of dipping inks, we are going to craft the old and dilapidated effect we are looking to achieve for the walls of this diorama. Some colors that combine perfectly are skull linen, greenstone, oak flesh, acid green, and limelight dip. We will apply them with a size 6 Green Series flat synthetic brush. Our transparent shades are also ideal for creating intense colors. Here comes the fun part. We will apply water slide decals. We will use the train and graffiti mix. Remember to soak them in warm water for about 20 seconds before using them. We will apply our decal softener on the surface where we want to place the graffiti, and then apply the decal using a brush to gently push it out of the carrier paper. Apply more decal softener on top of it so that it adapts and fixes perfectly on the rough surface. Repeat the process for the other decals and move on to give some mossy colored details on the walls. Remove the masking tape, and this is the result for now. Part 4. Cracked windows. We removed this module from the diorama to work with it more easily. We will use our Max Darth Black paint to paint the gaps in the doors. This revolutionary super black pigment has a 98.9 absorption rate. Our flexible tinfoil, craft pewter, is very versatile and easy to cut with scissors. It will take a perfectly detailed shape with our corrugator. This way, we will create a miniature metal roll-up door to simulate a storefront. We will again use one of our plastic art profiles to make the frame of an automatic door. We will cut a piece of organic glass and break it with our hands without breaking it completely so that it stays together but cracked. With the red matte surface primer, we will color the vents of the subway station. Our chipping medium will give it a chipped look when applied over the base coat. We apply Varroa Gray on top to give the metallic color of the element. And we move on to create weird details with one of our scratch brush pens. Orange rust and light rust are liquid pigments specially designed to create industrial dirt effects and rust marks. Our chrome paint is used to create reflective metallic surfaces such as mirrors. The red oxide rust texture will give a weathered and rusty look. Now we are going to cut out the name of the station that we have previously printed. We will paste it with matte finish medium decoupage. On the sign, we will also apply a coat of satin medium decoupage to protect it, seal it, and give it a plastic look. The red oxide rust texture and light rust will help us to age and oxidize elements such as railings or signs. Part 5. Color in the Chaos. We remove the sides of the metal stairs to paint the base of the stairs without staining the glass. We apply a first coat of black gloss surface primer with a brush. Then, we apply the same chrome tone as before to get that shiny metal look. And once again, we're going to apply rust on our diorama. This time, we will use a special tool for this, the 8mm weathering brushes. If we want to break the glass in a subtle way, we can use pliers. The moonstone gray tone is ideal for painting the stairs, as it is very light gray and it will allow us to apply as many shades as we want. Our master medium can be added to acrylic paint to modify its properties and make it act like oil paint, which can be useful to increase the leveling of the paint in the case of these stairs, for example. It also increases the integrity and facilitates the flow of the paint, among other properties. We apply redwood brown as a base to give depth and warmth to the ground. Over this layer, the green tones will create a natural contrast that mimics the chromatic variation of a realistic swampy ground. Fang white will add highlights, contrast, and a worn look. With anthrax metal, we can make beams look like metal. With liquid pigments like dark industrial dust, we will create a hyper-realistic rust look on the beams. We also remind you that weathering brushes are ideal to achieve these effects. Part 6. Living Nature. With shades like Yoda Green, Gangrene, and Fluor Lime, we are going to bring light into the green area. GreenStuffWorld's colored paper plants are an easy and effective way to replicate plants in miniature. With acid green dipping ink, we're going to color the plant properly before folding it. Then, we make the plant and repeat the process with another model. Once assembled and ready, we can place them on the diorama with tweezers. We will also place our thorny shrubs in the light green tone. We will use ivy foliage of various types to reproduce the appearance of ivy in corners, walls, and the floor, so that it looks like vegetation has grown between the gaps in tiles and walls. Applying matte finish medium decoupage on the ground, we will have a base on which to paste the rest of the plants and elements that are missing to complete this scene. Remember that when it dries, it will be completely colorless. We will cut a rectangular piece of foam with a cutter to create the information screen of the subway. We will prime it with bright black and cut a glass to size. We will break it slightly with our hands and create its support with ABS rods. We shake our gloss surface primer and color the edges of the screen. We apply rust and discoloration effects on the element. We finish retouching the scene and placing plants and branches. To do this, we can help ourselves with tweezers. And the last step is here. Our clear epoxy resin is a synthetic material perfect for simulating water. We will add a touch of green resin dye and moss green wash ink to give it the desired color. We apply carefully to create the swamp. And this is the final result. The end. Forgotten place. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell, and don't miss the next GreenStuffWorld video.